Hey everyone, it's me, Kat, bringing you day 39. Yes! I must say, I can't wait for tomorrow because tomorrow is day 40 and I just like those numbers. 10, 20, 30, 40. I'm weird. I don't know about you guys, but like if I'm changing the channel or, no, okay, not the channel, if I'm putting up volume, I always try and go for like twos or tens. It just makes me feel comfortable, or even maybe it's a slight form of OCD, I don't know. But I mean, if you're putting up the volume and let's say 59 and 60 both sound the same, I'd put it on 60. Or 54, 55, I'll go for 54. I don't know, maybe it's stupid, but I suppose every now and then I do try and throw a wrench in the works and go for an odd number. Or if I go to a public bathroom, I tend to always go for the stall right at the end. So sometimes, just to screw with myself, I'll go to the first stall, the second from the front. I don't know, it's weird. Maybe it's just me, but it probably isn't. What I want to talk to you guys about today, and this is something that can be applied to any situation, but I'm going to speak specifically about my sugar addiction. When you have decided you are a sugar addict, whether you are doing this on your own with friends and family, or if you are doing that with a support group, or both, whether you are new or have been doing this for years, you have to remember, just because something applied to you does not mean it applies to everyone. It's not true. For example, let's say specifically with sugar addiction, someone else might find that mango is a trigger for them. But that doesn't mean you should tell other recovering sugar addicts, don't eat mango, it's got lots of sugar, it's going to make you relapse. It's not the same. Everyone is different, especially with regards to sugar addiction. So one person might find this food is a trigger, another person might find not. The problem with this is that you have your baseline model, but everything else, it's really up to you to figure out. And also, guys, sugar addiction is quite frequently associated with food addiction. But just because you are a sugar addict does not mean you're a food addict. For example, being a smoker increases your chance of having cancer. But just because you have lung cancer does not mean you were a smoker. So you can't always expect that. One of the things I had which I didn't like, and it was probably one of the few things that put me off from joining a support group, was that there was an immediate assumption that I'm a food addict, and I'm not. And I felt like sugar addiction is already a problem I'm dealing with. Do not add more problems to my plate that, quite frankly, don't apply to me just because it applies to you. And that's why I was looking for a sugar addiction specific group. If you are an alcoholic, you're not going to go to an Overeaters Anonymous group because you're an alcoholic. You're not an overeater. Different things need to apply to different people, and it needs to be personalized to the problem you have. So, for example, I know I am a sugar addict, and I know I can drink, let's say, Amstel Radler. Amstel Radler has some sugar in it, but I know I can drink it and it doesn't trigger me. Someone else might drink it and it might make them fly off the rails and go stuff their face. I know, let's say, sweetener in my tea is a no-no. I know sweetener in tea makes me want to have 20 cups. But someone else might go, oh, I can have 1 or 2 cups of sweetener in my tea a day and it's fine for me. So please, guys, I know we're in this mentality of, I've experienced something, so now I'm the expert and I know everything about it and you must listen to me. So let's say I'm a person who lost 50 kgs. Everyone must listen to me because I lost 50 kgs and I know what I'm talking about. No, because what worked for your body might not work for someone else. I'm a sugar addict. I'm sharing my journey with you. But you might experience something here and there that's different. Yes, the baseline is the same. You are a sugar addict. Stay away from sugar. You want to lose weight? Eat less, move more. But There are small differences that don't apply. So if someone says to you, oh, I lost weight, I drank so much, let's say, ginger lemon, it was perfect. Someone else might go, okay, well, I'm glad that worked for you, but I'm not willing to do that, and I've tried it and it made no difference in my life. Or I'm a sugar addict, I stayed away from apples because apples trigger me. Someone might say, well, I eat 3 apples a day and I've never had a problem with it. So please, guys, remember, whether it's stopping smoking, fitness, work, relationships, just because you have an area that worked for you doesn't mean it works for everyone else. I'm not saying don't give advice, just don't tell people what to do. Say, oh, okay, I hear you, but in my situation, I did this and this worked. See or apply it, or see what you think, or let me know, or how did it affect you, or what did you do differently. Don't force your experience on other people and think that it is law. It is not like that. It is different. I also find that in today's world, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but a lot of things that were developed like 100 years ago, we are still using today. And it's like, it's been 100 years. Certain things have completely changed. I actually read a study yesterday doing research on Can Addictions Be Cured? And it was a study this guy did. He was addicted to opioids. And back in the day, he went to rehab, and opioid is a drug. Now, because he was addicted to opioids, they told him you can't use any other drug. You can't, if you have a headache, you can't use aspirin, you can't use inflammation, any drug you can't consume. And he lived his life like that, but he got to a point where he thought that's a bit ridiculous. His addiction was specific to opioids. Why can't he now not have other types of drugs that and he found out that it was like that. Just because he was addicted to opioids doesn't mean he's addicted to every other drug out there, and he tried it and it was true. He's allowed to have any other type of drug for medication besides opioids, where it was a model of saying, okay, you're addicted to this drug, you must stay away from all drugs. Or let's say, oh, you're addicted to heroin, so you can't have aspirin because you might. Different things happen for different people, and sometimes models don't work for anyone. You can be an alcoholic and you can go to rehab 50 times, and every single time there's a different approach. But if you don't fix what's up here, if you don't decide, okay, this is wrong, I don't want to feel like this anymore, I feel you can achieve it regardless of the model. But if you don't feel it in year and decide this is wrong, and the people in my life I'm hurting, no matter what approach or rehab or AA or NA or CEA is going to help you. So number 1, don't force your opinions and expertise on other people. Number 2, just because it worked for you doesn't mean it's going to work for everyone. And number 3, only people can sort themselves out. You cannot force someone to admit they're an addict and force them into rehab or recovery. Okay, I know that meetings didn't work for me, support groups, but I found something that does something similar. I'm not doing the 12 steps approach. I don't find that treating sugar addiction like Alcoholics Anonymous worked for me, but I still did the same 3 things: self-love, support, and accountability. Worked for me. So I'm not going to let anyone else tell me, oh, but you're not going to last long because you're not a part of a support group. I'm sorry, but you can't tell that to a person. Not that someone said this to me, I'm just imagining scenarios and so forth. All right, everyone, that's enough from me. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Tomorrow is Monday. It's Monday is a great time for any changes that you might have or things you want to try out. I have done a complete Monday to Sunday day, eating perfectly with regards to my calories for my reverse diet, and it's going well. So tomorrow I will increase my diet again by 50 calories and go on and on and on. Obviously, any changes you do, the beginning is always the hardest, but if you stick to it, it just gets easier. All right, have a fantastic evening and day and morning and any time of any place you are at. All right, bye.